the DOJ, the Justice Department, has appealed the decision for that special master review of the FBI's raid on the Trump Mar-a-Lago estate. The DOJ is now asking the judge, Eileen Cannon, to pause her order, which blocked the government from further reviewing the seized documents and using them for criminal investigative purposes. Now, the Justice Department did this ruling yesterday. It's a 21-page filing. Joe DiGenova is here to kind of break it down for us. Joe, obviously this, good to see you, first of all. Thanks for being with us.
Delighted.
We knew that this was one of their options, and we knew the DOJ was sort of weighing how they would either appeal or, again, just go forward with a list. So, again, this is a partial stay they're asking for. Not as severe, Joe, as to ask the judge to reverse her ruling, because likely that would be shut down. So what do you make of this legal tactic?
Well, I think the Department of Justice has become more of a political operation than a legal operation. What they've done here is they've asked they say they're going to ask the 11th Circuit to stop the process and allow them to go forward with their criminal investigation, because they say to delay will cause irreparable harm. Well, if they were allowed the special master to go forward, they could continue their counterintelligence review of the classified documents without any interference. The judge is allowing that. There's no urgency here. If it was so urgent, why did they wait so long to execute the search warrant?
Right.
Everyone knows the history of delay. What they're asking for here is a way to stop things that they don't like.
Right.
They don't like the fact that a criminal investigation is being halted while the court goes through this process with the special master. But I must say, if they do, in fact, appeal to the 11th Circuit, I think they're going to lose, because their grounds are awful. And this probably will lead to a look at the entire warrant, which was a general warrant and probably violated the Fourth Amendment.
Yes, and there's a lot of Trump-appointed judges up there, many have noted, so that's another thing going against the DOJ. But to just hammer down a little on your point, which a lot of people find absurd, is that they're trying to say that, well, we're intertwined with what's going on. Now, to be very clear, Judge Cannon's order let the DNI continue with anything classified,
yes,
from what we know, Joe. So they're trying to say, oh, no, but we need to be a part of this. We're really can't be kept outside of the Department of National Intelligence. A lot of people say that has no weight. I mean, that's just an opinion.
Well, the department is flailing, and they're in this position because of what they did. Let's just step back for a second. They execute this search warrant on August the 8th. If they had gone to court to enforce their subpoena and asked the judge for a hearing with regard to the subpoena, this would have all been resolved by now. They wouldn't be in this position. The truth is, they didn't want to have a judge look at what they were doing. They decided, after they had not gotten what they thought was compliance with the subpoena, that they were going to get a search warrant and see what else they could pick up. In other words, the search warrant was a pretext. It really didn't have anything to do with the classified documents. So if it was just about the classified documents, why did they take the president's passport, well, his clothing, his wife's clothing, his son's things, accounting records, legal documents, documents involving executive privilege? This was a sham search warrant executed to find evidence for other matters. And
right,
what they're complaining about now is they want to be able to continue to look at these other matters. And I think the court's going to slap them down.
Right, because the further we get away from this, it does scream fishing expedition all over it, Joe, as you state.
Yes.
Another thing that keeps coming up is this issue of privilege. Now, the DOJ wants to say Trump can't assert that. The president can't assert that. On Monday, it was breaking news. You and Victoria were on with me. We saw the order come in where the judge says, I think you're overstating that. Again, in the DOJ filing yesterday, they want to say that the president, okay, he doesn't have a right to assert privilege. But then they go further, and I'm not sure if we have this pullout here, but they say, well, but even if he did, they write that he should have brought it up earlier. They're basically saying, okay, Judge, they know she probably won't go with their argument of him not having privilege, so they're trying to double down and say, well, but even if he did, there was a window, and he should have done that before they handed over some documents. Where are they going with that? Because this is it right here. They're saying he declined to assert claim of executive privilege then. So basically they're saying he doesn't have it at all. Is she going to buy that?
No court is going to buy that. There's been no waiver of any executive privilege. Indeed, the president has been asserting that from the beginning. Indeed, it was the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, who ordered the White House counsel to tell the National Archives that President Trump could not exert executive privilege. That decision had already been made by Joe Biden. Well, guess what? The last president of the United States, Donald Trump, still has legal standing to exert executive privilege. The judge said that the Justice Department is overreading precedents in this case and misreading precedents from the Supreme Court. So I think Donald Trump's assertion of executive privilege is perfectly justified, and that most courts, and I think certainly the Supreme Court, will say that under these unusual circumstances, where you have what looks like an illegal search and seizure, that a former president can assert executive privilege when documents have been taken from him without his consent.
Great. Before we let you go, I do want to talk about another case that's making huge headlines, and that's about Steve Bannon turning himself in yesterday. He was indicted. This is in New York yesterday in Manhattan. He's been charged with this money laundering conspiracy, scheming to defraud for his alleged role in We Build the Wall. Here are some of his comments. I want to play that for the viewers here yesterday as he was being brought into the courtroom.
For every conservative American, this is what happens the last days of a dying regime. They will never shut me up. They'll have to kill me first. I have not yet begun to fight.
Joe, what is happening with our justice system in America today?
Well, I think if you're a Republican, you better get yourself a lawyer and a suit of armor. I think the current King of England, Charles, will probably have some suits of armor he can make available. I think that what you're seeing playing out is very, very dangerous for law enforcement, both federal and state in the United States. And that is that the appearance of fairness has disappeared. The appearance and reality of two systems of justice, one for Democrats and one for Republicans. When's the last time you saw a Democratic operative, a Podesta, or anybody else whose businesses were shut down?
Podesta just got a new appointment this week.
Yes, and his brother had to shut down his business, but he was never put in shackles, arrested, had a search warrant for his business. What they're doing is that the Bannon case is an example of two systems of justice, one for conservatives and Republicans and one for Democrats. And people need to understand that the current Attorney General of the United States is a vicious partisan. He is doing things that are destroying the reputation of the Department of Justice and a lot of the fine men and women who work there. And certainly Christopher Wray is destroying what's left of the reputation of the FBI after James Comey.
Former U.S. Attorney Joe DiGenova, appreciate your time, your insight. Always great to see you. Thanks for being with us here today.
You bet.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. September is historically the worst performing month for the stock market, so you better be ready for it. The Fed continues to aggressively raise rates, and JP Morgan is forecasting another mega rate hike September the 21st. Is that why Jamie Dimon said an economic hurricane is coming our way? Well, gold and silver have remained remarkably stable despite the Fed aggressively raising rates today. The Patriot Gold Group has a special incentive for Newsmax viewers. Huge! Now precious metals investors can enjoy the no-fee-for-life gold and silver IRA on qualifying rollovers, or enjoy free, discreet, insured shipping on all direct gold and silver purchases. Here's the number, 800-356-4470. Call 800-356-4470 today.